Hey, Real Life Church, it's Pastor Jim. I'm here again for another installment of our Homeschool for the Soul, in which we're talking about what is going on in our world and how best to grow our hearts even in this unusual context. And I'm here today with my friend Goose Dulce, who is the operations director down at Gods Pantry. Hi, Goose. How are you?
Good, Jim. How are you?
Good. Making the best of what we got is what I'm doing.
Yeah, we all are.
I know God's Pantry because I love coming down there and working with you, and our church has been down. Back in the olden days, before the quarantine, we were helping distribute food once a month at the Azusa location. But some people tuning in are not familiar with it, have not helped with God's Pantry, and need kind of a beginner level introduction. Tell us what God's Pantry is and tell us what you do.
So God's Pantry is a food pantry or food bank located out of Pomona. Historically, we would partner with public schools. We have 6 different cities in the Inland Empire and the east side of LA so we would partner with the schools, and then once a month we would come out to those schools and serve about 400 to 500 families, especially from that school that were food insecure, and we would give them about a week's worth of groceries. Now, with the COVID-19 outbreak, we shifted in the school campuses being closed. We're doing a lot of our distribution from our warehouse here in Pomona, and we partner with a lot of different organizations, and now we're serving about 2,000 families every week.
Okay, so you're distributing groceries. It's not actually like a soup kitchen for the homeless. You're actually serving working people who may just need help making ends meet.
Right. So we don't do, it's kind of like a little bit like on the details, but so we don't serve food, we serve groceries. So groceries require storage and then cooking utensils, or, some sort of cooking. But this way we're able to serve a lot more people. And there's a lot of people that serve the homeless community, but we're just kind of focused more on food insecure families, working poor families. And one of the cool things is, like, we didn't set out to do this when we started, but we hear from like single moms that say, hey, I go to 2 of your distributions, I'll go to Azusa, and then I'll go the next week, I'll go to Pomona, and I'm saving $200-300 that I don't have to spend at Costco, and I can feed my kids, and then I can take those $200-300 and buy school supplies, keep the lights on. So it's one of those things. It's not like we're giving out cash, but we're giving out resources that people would otherwise have to buy.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes good sense. And what's happened in the midst of the quarantine to your numbers and the demands on what you do?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a huge increase. I mean, everybody's struggling. With unemployment going up, we're directly, our numbers usually directly reflect kind of the economic situation, because when people don't have money, they have to turn to food banks. And like we essentially triple our output of food from what we were normally doing, which was a lot of food already, but now we're really kind of pushing really hard. So
demand has accelerated.
Absolutely, yeah.
How are you guys doing in terms of your resources?
We're blessed. We have a lot of donors and churches that support us. It's been tough because obviously we had a lot more expenses, a lot more unforeseen expenses we're not planning on. But we have a really great partnership with, like I said, with the churches, and then also with the city of Pomona, where we're located, has really kind of leaned heavily on us to provide, and they've been with that has come a lot of grant opportunities that we still have to pursue. But it's chaos. I don't know how the chips will turn after everything's, but right now we're open. On top of the food bank operations, we also have we have a transitional housing program for young adults, and we actually just brought in 4 new kids out of the streets that were homeless. Wow. So we eventually, what God's Pantry is really what we're kind of leaning on is becoming more of a wraparound service, offering therapy, case management, housing. So with the economic downturn that's kind of happening, or insecurity, we're also seeing a lot of other problems also escalating and coming up, like homelessness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been tough. I mean, it's been very hard, but we're hanging in there. I mean, I wouldn't do anything else. I love this. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now, tell me in terms of your volunteer force,
yeah,
what are the needs? How's that being taken care of? Because we can't all crowd in like we used to.
exactly. So we used to, I mean, when we used to meet at Azusa, we would have anywhere from, gosh, I mean, 100 to 150 volunteers, and it was easier to like manage a bigger crowd. But now with the restrictions, and we stick to pretty, we try to keep it as safe as possible, not only for the clients, but also for the volunteers. So we had to regulate, just take precautions. I mean, maybe overly so, but to us, that's what we felt that was the right thing to do. So we're limiting heavily the population that's at risk, so older and younger folks, anybody that has a history of asthma or respiratory conditions, anybody that has even family members at home that could be affected by them becoming sick. So and then on top of that, just the amount of people we literally can have. So we're running our distributions with like 12 to 14 like volunteers. So we have a few core staff, but we usually keep like 9 or 10 people indoors and then another 8 or 9 outside, just to kind of keep people spread out. We provide PPE, so protection, personal protection equipment. Right now, kind of the protocol is that we check everybody's temperatures when they come in. We have them sign a waiver. We have them, we have everybody wear protection gear. So it's like, it's really tough, not only on us, but I know on the volunteers. I mean, people sometimes just want to serve, and they feel like, it's a long process to even just feel. So.
Right. Yeah. So you're doing something that's courageous, but you're also being wise and responsible in the process. And
I hope so.
yeah, sure. Yeah. And I've seen how it works. People drive up and they pop open the trunk of their car. They don't even get out, and they go right in the trunk. So there's not too much interaction. You're a good distance away from everybody just to be safe.
Right. So one of the things we just developed by trial and error. So on Sunday nights, we post our appointments for the food, and we have 360 spots available. So like 10 cars every like 10 minutes. And within 2-3 hours, usually everything gets filled up.
Yeah.
And what we do is we use their license plate as a way to correlate their names when they come up. So a lot of times, 80% of the people that come up that have appointments, we don't even have to talk to them, which again, at least initially keeps our volunteers safe. But at the end, we also, sometimes we always offer prayer for them, that we always try to stay away. We try to keep the window closed, so there's a little bit of a barrier, or at least, lowered. So
right.
keeps, so we've been learning a lot. I mean, and when we started, it wasn't perfect, and it still is not, but we're trying our best.
Yeah. So if people want to volunteer during the week, they go on your website on Sunday night, right? You post around 6 p.m. or so?
That's the goal, right? 6 p.m.
Okay. And then there's little slots they fill out, and they can say, here's my name, here's my number, here's the time of the week I can come down, and there's some different choices.
Right.
And then that way you can cap the number of volunteers who are there at one time.
Yeah. And mainly, so we're trying to make sure everybody has a great experience. Initially, like when we started, there was no signups, and then we would have too many volunteers, which was a problem because people, there wouldn't be enough to do. And then we kind of cut it way down, and it was like way too much work for a small team. So we kind of try to find that right number. And so we try to keep the numbers down. People do need to self-qualify in a sense and tell us like, hey, I understand the risk and I'm willing, to help.
Yeah.
They do that. And then usually the volunteer spots don't get filled up right away. They usually last until like Monday, Tuesday, depending again, also, sometimes we have one distribution, sometimes we have two, depending on how much food the food banks are able to send our way. But yeah, that's one way. The other way too, some churches are taking benevolence calls, and they do deliveries. I don't know. Have you guys done that yet? Or
I don't
no?
think we've done that. No.
So yeah, we're open. So we just kind of started doing this recently, where if somebody calls and says they need food, we have volunteers from churches come out, we load them up, and then they do the delivery. So
okay, great.
We try to be as flexible. Our goal is just to feed as many people as we can.
Yeah. So now tell me again, the website is Gods Pantry Your .org?
Yeah,
.org. Okay. And if people want to make donations, they can do that on the website too, can't they?
Yeah, they can do that too. And again, like 90% of all the funds that come in go directly towards programming, which is, really good. And
Yeah.
right now we're blessed right now. We're doing well, but like I said, we have a lot of, especially with the adjacent ministries, the housing, those are not self-sufficient yet. So we're siphoning funds from the pantry to help these kids. So if anybody's interested in even getting involved with more of that stuff, I know that I had talked to some folks from real life about it. That's become a huge, source of ministry for us too. So we have a few little things going, but
Great. Awesome. Okay. Well, that helps a lot because I've got a lot of folks who are eager to help in a way that's still safe. And God's Pantry has been a great way to do that. So I just want to encourage all the real life folks. If you haven't gotten down to God's Pantry, it is safe. I've been down in the warehouse. You're not standing shoulder to shoulder with anybody. There's lots of room. You wear masks, you wash your hands, wear gloves. It's worth doing. And you literally feed thousands of people in a week.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to see what that ministry has done, and you do it all in Jesus' name. And so it's something that I'm proud of, and I hope you're proud of. And I really like to see more folks from our church get involved in it. So thanks for giving us an intro. Thanks for letting us know a little what you're doing and how we can help. That's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Cool. Last question. Anything we can pray for you as the congregation prays?
Yeah, I'll be a little greedy. This whole thing has been really crazy for us because my wife, she's due with her second son here in about 30 days.
Yeah.
So she's been at home with her 4-year-old, who's just been losing his mind.
Yeah.
Just, destroying the house. So just pray for us, my wife, Emily, my son, Ezra, and I. Hopefully, we kind of got through the worst of it. But she's, like I said, she's doing them 30 days, and we'll love some prayer for that and just for everything to go safe and be good for us.
Absolutely. If you need anything at all in that process, you just call us.
More coffee.
Coffee. I will bring you more coffee. Yeah, done. All right. Thanks, Goose. I appreciate your time today. God bless you. God bless what you're doing.
Thanks, Jim.